Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Audrey and today I'm going to be showing you all my OCs and how you can create your own. So let's get right into my OCs. This is my very first OC. She's actually the most boring one I made so far, and she is just, she's not really like great or anything because pretty normal, I guess, and I didn't really come up with like a big backstory or anything for her. But yeah, anyways, this is my OC Lila. She likes flowers, lavender soap, cute core, and boba fashion. She dislikes narcissism, rude people, coffee, and fur coats. Her personality is sweet and sour, and her favorite quote is "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." So yeah, there's not much about her. It's just like what she likes and what she doesn't like. But yeah, I can show you my more recent OCs, which are way more fun and way more interesting. Then I created this girl. I gave her a name, Mindy, which is a lovely name, and her age is 20. She's 5'7", and she likes coffee, self-development books, financial education, dogs, industrial aesthetic, at the beach, and cooking. So yeah, some of these are really random. Some of these are kind of based off her outfit. So yeah, she dislikes kids, flowers, lace, over-enthusiast people, immature boys, wasting time, over-opinionated people, toxic relationships. So she's very opinionated, but she doesn't like opinionated people. So she wanted her own fashion clothing line, but she chose a well-paying, stable job over her passion, and she was negative most of the time because she works really hard and she works a lot. She lives in an apartment in New York City and owns a cat, even though she likes dogs more than cats. And she doesn't have any thoughts of marriage, but eventually raises 3 kids. So yeah, I'll get into how I created her and stuff. This is another kind of OC. I didn't make a backstory though. And this is my OC, Agatha Moss. So in case you haven't watched it yet, my drawing people as personalities video is what inspired me to make this girl. So I first chose an aesthetic, and it was goblin core, so I made a goblin themed girl, and then I didn't know what to do, so I just drew her and I didn't really do anything with her. But then after I drew this crow, because crows are my favorite birds. Well, I like parakeets too, but crows are one of my favorites. And this coin within the bird's mouth, and I just realized, wow, this could become a story because like they're on the same page, and it's like kind of like the vibe is matching. So I thought up her name, Agatha Moss. It took me a long time because there was a lot of really good possibilities, like foresty names. But anyways, her nickname is Ren, and her full name is Agatha Moss. She's 14, and also you can always change the names and ages and stuff. And this is her date of birth, which I only do so for some of my OCs. She lives in a world of humans. She's a goblin, and she wants to fit in, so she uses magical coins to look like a beautiful human. Her pet crow, Obsidian, this is Obsidian. I just gave it a name that kind of matched. And as her human form, she's popular and she has a lot of friends, but as a goblin, she is isolated because she lives in a hollow tree that's a mile from the city. So technically, she lives in like a foresty area that none of her human friends know where she lives. Anyways, she likes collecting trinkets, and her favorite colors are brown and green. She's shy, but she's also very lonely, and the stone on her nose right there is her source of power. Like all goblins, she can't get rid of the coin, so she wears a band-aid on top of it when she's a human. So yeah, I know I talk really fast, but anyways. Yeah, this story is really like interesting to me, but I feel like I could have dived a little deeper, and if I really want to like create like comics for these characters somehow. Yeah. And then the sticker kind of matches, you know. Yeah, you just kind of like get the vibe ready first, and then, yeah, that's another tip. This is a drawing that cured my art block, because after I made this drawing, I had art block for like a day. But it was like bad art block because I just couldn't even look at my sketchbook for that little day. So yeah, but everyone in this land has heterochromia. Like they have 2 different eye colors. So everyone has heterochromia in Tutopia, so it's spelled like this, which looks pretty cool to me, but I don't like how it sounds. Anyways, her name is Beta, which sounds really like the sci-fi city kind of vibes. I just looked at her outfit, she looked like a runner or something, so I gave her the last name Swift Speed. here's the thing. She was originally supposed to be like a dystopian, like aliens, like, or like something invading the planet kind of girl. Like she's like all earthy and stuff, but then kind of changed that story, you know. She does track at her high school, and she's the fastest runner there. Her biggest rival is Delta, and we'll get to Delta. And she is a cheerleader, or she's a cheerleader. So anyways, the scratch marks on her face are from Delta's nails. I'm like thinking maybe they had like a fight or something, or like she tripped, or like, you know, something like that. But they don't like each other. That's the point. So anyways, their city gets invaded, and only Beta and Delta are able to escape because they're the most athletic kids in their whole school. And they become BFFs eventually, and they work together to defeat the invaders, which are found out to be goblins. They meet Agatha Moss, who is a goblin too, but she's anti-invader, so she doesn't, you know, want to help invade and stuff. So yeah, I wasn't thinking of that first because I felt like aliens are too generic for... like, it's too, like, something that too many people use to invade Earth and stuff. So, I realized I needed another creature. So, I looked up creatures that invade Earth and stuff. And then, mostly it was aliens. But then, goblins came out. So, I decided, oh, I already have Goblin OC. Maybe I should just make the goblins invade. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get to Delta now. Oh, by the way, she has dark blue eyes and... light blue, so dark blue and light blue eyes. Anyways, this is Delta Day, and she is the cheer captain at their high school. One of her eyes are aqua, and the other eye is brown. She's 14, and her height is 5'4", just like Beta, which they're pretty similar. She likes pink, and she dislikes Beta at first. So anyways, yeah, they're pretty opposites, and she's kind of like a mean girl vibe, and she's more of like a main character kind of, you know, thing. So yeah, those are my OCs I have in this sketchbook so far. I have a lot of other unstoryized, I don't know if that's a word, but, you know, OCs that I haven't thought of stories yet. So anyways, so let's get to how to create an OC. The first step is to make some key decisions. You have to decide if you're going to make your story fiction, or if you're going to make it nonfiction. Yeah, you also have to decide whether they live in the past, the present, or the future. So she's a millennial. These guys are, I think they would be the future kind of people. And you also have to decide if your OC is going to be a girl, a boy, or you could even do an animal. You can even do an object. You can like do whatever you want. But since I mostly draw girls, I usually go with girls. But then you have to decide if your OC is going to be a child, a teen, adult, or an elder. You have to decide the age, or if they never age and they just look a certain age for a long time, or like, you know. The second step is to draw your OC out. So you can draw multiple like parts of the body. Like, for example, her eyes are kind of downturned, her eyes are more upturned. You can draw like different types of eyes, and then you can next draw like a bunch of different types of noses, different types of ears. Like you can do goblin ears, or like human ears, elf ears, mermaid, siren ears, anything you want. So just come up with all of these like different parts. You don't have to do this, but you can add like one special thing. Like for example, she is a very fast runner. She has like this power thing. Observe the OC. Ask some key questions. Like some that can help you out are: where do they live? What is their favorite color? Likes, dislikes, height. I always thought of all these things first, and then the story just came to me after. But anyways, if you're having trouble figuring that out, look at her outfit. Like, I thought of her favorite character as blue because her eyes are blue and her top is blue. So yeah, another thing you should focus on is what is their color palette. You can do 1, 2, or 3 colors. You can do more, but I suggest starting out with 3 or less colors because that's the most simplest and easiest way to start off. Okay? If you're having trouble thinking of ideas of what they like and stuff, like her, I drew a crow the day after I drew her because I was just feeling bored and it's my favorite animal, and then yeah, I just drew it and it kind of came together after that. So draw an object, an animal, or like just doodle a random thing like this lightning strike. That's just so random. Number 5 is to decide on the personality. So What helps me decide on the personality is how their faces look. Like her, she kind of has this very determined, like, leader-like look. She has more of like a sweet, but like, kind of more like mean look to her. Number 6 is to pick the name. So picking the name is something that's a little harder for me, but eventually I get to it. I just looked up on Google or Pinterest Goblin Core names. It's just very obvious. Originally her name was going to be Alpha, but I named her Delta. It seemed more like appropriate for like a, I don't know, it just sounded more better on her. Yeah, so kind of just go with whatever you think matches the character. Number 7. At this point, ideas should definitely start crashing in. So this part is kind of when I just get all these ideas in my mind while I'm brainstorming how to do these stuff. And then I just picked up a pen. And also make sure it's a pen. If you do a pencil, I mean, sure, you can fix your typos, mistakes, or whatever, but pen will let you not go back. So just pick up a pen, write all the stuff that you think of, and then just kind of read over it after that. If you like the story, then yeah, like you see, I was gonna name her Amaryllis or something before, but then I changed her name to Delta. So yeah, which goes along with number 8, which is to make adjustments. If you don't like something, then you have to change it. Well, you don't have to change it, but I suggest you change it or you won't like the OC. So like yeah, I changed her name from Amaryllis to Delta, and I love it way more. Change like these small little random things that you think you won't think it's that important, but if you don't like your OC, you're just not going to end up using her more. Number 9 is to think of a good rival. Every main character of a story always has a rival, enemy. Her antagonists are kind of humans because she wants to be like humans, but she doesn't want to. She wants to be herself around them. And her antagonist was originally her, but then eventually their antagonists become frenemies, and they go against the invaders. Step 10 is very important, and you just have to make sure to go all out on this, okay? Step 10 is to congratulate yourself. You have made your very own OC, and don't forget to give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a round of applause, whatever. Give yourself some time to relax. Yeah, you have finally created your very own OC. If you guys want to see any other types of videos, make sure to comment them down below. I'll definitely keep them in mind. If you guys haven't seen my other videos, please go check them out. And I would really love it if you considered subscribing. If you aren't already subscribed. If you are, then thank you so much. Anyways, and I'll see you guys in my very next video. Bye!